Just talking about Sister Rosa Wims and the article that we have in Challenger Community News about her. And could you tell the community just some of the things that Rosa Wims was involved in and help make Rochester a much better place to live?
I sure will. I would like to preface my remarks with blessed memories, because I have such warm memories of Sister Rosa Wims. She has known me. I've known her since I was 2 years old. We attended the same church, the Jefferson Avenue Seventh-day Adventist Church, first on Frost Avenue, and then we moved to a larger edifice on Jefferson Avenue that recently burned 2 years ago. But I'd like to talk a little bit about her migration to Rochester. She was part of the Great Migration that spanned from the 1930s to the 1968. She came from St. Petersburg, Florida, and it was to seek a better life. Isabel Wilkerson, in her book, The Warmth of Other Suns, talks about Blacks leaving the South and traveling great distances to reach safety with the hope that life would be better wherever they landed. Sister Wims initially lived on Waverly Place, 8 Waverly Place, in the 3rd Ward. Her mother, Sister Mary White, lived right across the street on 18 Waverly Place. The family later moved to Champlain Street based on urban renewal, which was under the guise of improving the neighborhood, which really broke up a very tight-knit community. I can remember going to her home in the evenings on Champlain Street on Saturday nights, and we would be playing board games like Uno and Sorry and Scrabble, and eating wonderful foods. One of her favorite things that she would make that I enjoyed was this punch. She would put a softened block of sherbet in a punch bowl, and then just before serving, she would add ginger ale. So it was frothy and delicious and cold. So food and preparing food and giving food was was one of her superpowers, one of her greatest strengths. In our church, we had various programmings for the young people, which at that time I was considered young, at the church. And part of the curriculum was etiquette, which Sister Wims taught. And it not only taught about how to have a pleasant conversation at the table and how to be, at that time, a young lady, but it also more tangible information on how to set a table, where the fork should go, where the plate should go, where the knives would go, and how to present meals. She was big on not only making the food taste good, but having it presented well. Because as you know, we eat with our eyes before we do with our mouths. And I remember her also having this cabbage that she cut on an angle, and then she would fill it with dip and then put different chips and vegetables around for us to eat. So she was really big on feeding people, on having great food, because I'm sure you know of her Thanksgiving dinners to the community, which were legendary. She started it on Bronson Avenue and Genesee, the old Bronson Avenue, which is now Sam McCree Way. And at first she would ask people to donate things and make pies. And then it just grew and mushroomed when Food Link became involved and Wegmans became involved. And I remember her calling me, because she always had it like the first part of November. And I think it was election day or something like that, around that time. But she called me and asked me would I that year help serve food. And the people just came and came and came, and she had pans of turkey and my favorite dressing. And I was responsible for serving the dressing. And I kept looking at the pans, and they kept getting smaller and smaller. I said, "Ooh, I hope there'll be enough for me," because she could make some good cornbread dressing.
And how many people would you think she served at these Thanksgiving events? I remember that's when I met her in the 1990 at the 1990 census, and we held a couple of events during that Thanksgiving time period. So I saw the large crowds coming, and she's done that
over 400 to 500 people the time I served. She served it out of this place on Lyle Avenue that time, and I would say at least 500 people came. Families with children came and went through the line and got food. She also had styrofoam plates, so that if you wanted to take your food, with you, you could. And I remember talking with her daughter, Renee, saying that she dispatched anybody to help serve, any and everybody to help serve. She could not stand to see somebody without food. She was truly a Proverbs 31 woman. Those under her care received what they needed to alleviate human suffering.
Beautiful. Well stated, Al-Nisa. Well stated. You were right there. You saw her as growing up, and this showed you what she meant to you and over thousands and thousands of people here in the Rochester community, especially in the Southwest. Sounds like the Southwest community of Rochester, New York. Rosa Wims, the first Black nurse in the area, made her transition earlier this week. And anything in closing, Al-Nisa?
She started as a candy striper, but she had a greater vision, and she went back to school and received her nursing degree. And she worked at the old Rochester General Hospital, right there where Fight Village used to be, Fight Square used to be. That used to be Rochester General Hospital, and that's where she got her start. And she always gave back because she would talk to nursing students, incoming nursing students, about her experience, about her. They needed to be compassionate and empathetic toward the people that were under their care, and to really love the profession.
In closing, I said that's magnificent, all this information. I hope young people and also the adults listening to the show really looks her up. Google Rosa Wims, and also encourage your kids. Hey, it's not where you start, it's where you finish. Started as a candy striper in the church. I remember those candy stripers back in the day in the hospitals, going in and with the candy cane kind of uniforms on. And now she went from there and went back to school and became a nurse. And man, that is just, I didn't know that aspect of it. That's why we have you on the show, Sister Al-Nisa. I know this is a sports show, everybody, but we talking about Rochester legends here, and she is one of the Rochester legends. Anything else you like to say about Miss Wims, just in closing?
Just very briefly, I wanted to say her favorite hymn was Under His Wing. And I am so blessed to have been under the wing of Sister Rosa Wims.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming on this morning.